calling. It's a place to call home, where young hearts find their rhythm and they set their spirit free, living life their own way, as it's meant to be. Vision knows no bounds. In this place we found, where courage grows and independence knows. A journey of a lifetime, every step profound. At Erik's Ranch and Retreat, love's the only sound. From Minnesota's heartland to Montana's rugged range, Erik's Ranch and Retreat stands proudly, a place to dream and change. With open skies and endless fields, adventure in the air, finding strength and friendship with every moment shared. Vision knows no bounds. In this place we found, where courage grows and independence knows. A journey of a lifetime, every step profound. At Erik's Ranch and Retreat, love's the only sound. Tallest mountains and swam the deepest seas, found strength within each other to be who we can be. Every challenge met with laughter, every moment bright and true. In this haven of adventure, our spirits flew. Vision knows no bounds. In this place we found, where courage grows and independence knows. A journey of a lifetime, every step profound. At Erik's Ranch and Retreat, love's the only sound. So here's to 10 years strong, and many more coming home. To the dreams we're chasing, to the battles we have won, with hearts forever open to the skies and all around. At Erik's Ranch and Retreats, our vision knows no bounds.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just Tim, and he plays
don't use up full numbers.
You're right. Well, I'm Tim Roundtree. I'll be your host, MC.
And I'm Carrie Taylor, Vice President of Membership, and we're so happy to be back here in person with you. When I knew we could edit the footage, but you promised to be on your best behavior tonight, or
I wouldn't be allowed back on stage. To remember, let's all drink and surpass our goal by 100K.
That's a good plan, right? That's a great plan. We have a fun night. As Catherine said, our opening number was created by our very own DJ Crosworth. AI-generated songs that made that one for the spirit, to capture the spirit of Erik's Ranch and Retreat. So, now we'd like to introduce our CEO, founder, and fearless leader, Catherine Markberg. There we go. You can hear me? Yes? Okay.
Great. Good evening, and what a wonderful crowd. Wow. It's popular these days to talk about crowd size. Couldn't resist. And we are more than double what we've ever had at any one of our events. Before we begin, I'd like you to join me in thanking the individual who's responsible for this beautiful event tonight. She's on her 8th year. She not only spearheads the event, she also does so much of the detail work. Ladies and gentlemen, Brenda Fisher. And I would like to thank and recognize a few more people, our members and staff. Please stand. And I bet you couldn't determine who our Montana group was. Volunteers, please stand. We've got far more volunteers than that. We're the SPS folks. Please stand. Where are they? There they are. A shy group. And our board members, please. Years ago, we had a dream for Erik's Ranch. Give young adults with autism a place to live and work, help them realize their dreams, give them opportunities that others have, significantly enhance their life experiences and live to their potential. In the early days, we believed in a vision without bounds. We were thought leaders with an idea, and we brought together a multitude of people to make it happen. We could and did offer creative and fresh opportunities to individuals and their families. We could and have offered lifelong learning, independence, and socialization. We could and do give them lives with purpose and meaning. Now, let me recognize a few of the early contributors, our thought leaders, and our angel investors from the very beginning. First, Dr. Erik Ruder. Emeriti from St. Cloud State University. He's known nationally for his work with community integration and employment for young adults with autism and other disabilities. And then we have a few people who aren't with us here tonight, sadly. Dr. Erik Larson. He's the director of the Lovas Institute Midwest, where he implements and researches intensive early intervention services with families of children with autism. And I remember sitting at my kitchen table with the two Erik doctors while we were putting this all together. Karen King, president and CEO of the award-winning advertising agency Spawn Ideas in Anchorage, Alaska, and Patrick Bradley, a highly regarded Twin Cities small business and real estate attorney. And then for our investors, Maria Fields, CEO and Sorry, Mom, I'm going to say this. At age 83, she's still running that operation. Mary Noble, who, with her husband, operated many businesses in the Twin Cities area, including the historic Normandy Inn. She continues to be a We have an individual who would like to remain anonymous, but he provided significant lands and funding toward our operation in Montana. So I have to at least say that. And then folks who are no longer with us. Wayne Field, he formed over 50 corporations and sat on the boards of another 50. He's there in the red slacks, that's up at Chimney Rock. And he was our very first supporter. George Earl, and he is there in the turquoise sweater, tall gentleman, a giant in his industry, decades-long member of the Chicago Board of Trade and the Minneapolis Grain Exchange. And Robert Field, a highly respected attorney who practiced law in California for his entire career. Thank all of you for 10 years of support. For Erik's Ranch and Retreats, it's always been about bringing people together in the service of the mission. You're generous visionaries in your own right, and you make it possible for our members to thrive and for our organization to evolve. Your support is essential, affirming, and comes from the heart, and we feel blessed that many of you have been with us since the very early days. Now, I'm sure you've all looked at your phones to see if you won your silent auction items. Thank you so much for participating. We also have a live auction coming up real soon. We hope you join us for that. It's our very first one, so that's scary because nobody bids, right? And it feels really bad. That's really quiet fast. And then if you feel the need to make a direct donation to us, you can use that app on your phone, or there are cards in the middle of your tables, little QR codes that you can use to get to our website. We're excited you're here, and we're anxious to share with you what we've been up to. You're going to hear from our members, their families, volunteers, and guests. Our model is working. Our progress is measured by the growth of our individual members, by the strength of our relationships, and by the feedback that we get from our guests. And we'll also share how there is significant interest in replicating our model around the world. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later. But there is such a tremendous need, and our model is recognized for its impact and outcomes and the hope it provides to families with those on the spectrum. And now let me turn back to our hosts, Tim and Carrie. What about that suit?
So can you believe that we've known each other for 10 years? Do you remember when we first met? It's one of my favorite stories, mostly because of how far we've come. Before the ranch, we rented a farm and ran a therapeutic riding program here in Minnesota. And Tim and his parents came to visit from California. And we took Tim to see the farm and to ride horses because Tim said he liked horses. And do you like horses, Tim?
No.
Remind me how you explained your strategy for first impressions back then.
It's all about smoke and mirrors, telling people what they want to hear, even if it's not true. Smile and wave.
Well, it worked on us. So we took you to the farm, thought you loved it, offered you a job, isn't that cute? Offered you a job, and you moved across the country 10 days later. But we saw a different side after that first impression. Tim was a bit more challenging than he let on at that first visit. He constantly challenged authority. He was all about the shock and awe.
Okay, tell them the wallet story?
No, our boss and my parents are here. But we spent more time with Tim and looked at his history and realized that he had left or been asked to leave many places before us. And so we made a commitment to not let that continue. He did not always make that easy, though. He tried all his old tricks. Oh, can I tell the story about how I had to come home early from my vacation because of the incident?
No, our boss and my parents are here.
So 10 years later, we have a very different story to tell. Tim has had many jobs. He's faced many challenges. But you've come so far. You've had the courage to try many things.
Gave me the courage to go after the military. Found it wasn't for me. As some of you may have known, I did a cocktail tour, and I'm trying to get that back up and running. Why don't we, Catherine?
Nice try. Overall, I'd say you're a contributing member of society now. You have worked full-time. You genuinely care about others. Just a few weeks ago, you asked me what we should do to celebrate my birthday. Expected me to pay for everything, but good surprise, right? Being at Erik's has clearly been a good thing for you, and it's meant a lot to other people as well. Let's take a look.
It means to me that that there is a place that figures out, that is individualized enough where I feel like I am a part of a bigger purpose in the world, but then I'm getting my needs met as well as serving the world and serving my community in a way that improves them and helps them grow.
Erik's means for me, it's more of it's a platform for being able to, live independently, having that freedom to kind of go and be as you please. You feel accepted, you feel embraced, you feel welcomed here. No one's kind of making you feel like you're younger than you are. It's like people are accepting you for who you are, and we want to see you succeed in the near future. We want to, here's all these platforms and here's all these different things that we can help get you to the spot and the aspirations that you want.
I have freedom here, and I can live and create a life for myself outside of my family.
Erik's is the place where I live and is my community.
Independence, again, just being able to have that freedom and that independence and have that community of people that you can go to if you need help, and they can go to you if they need help, and just again having that freedom and being able to be in a safe, secure environment and have people that you can go to and they can go to you.
Erik's is basically just a place where these young adults with autism like myself can be to kind of take that first step to being able to, get out of being stuck with their parents and actually start being members of society and taking the first step into just the big world out there.
Erik's means a lot to me. I mean, before Erik's Ranch was even a thought, I was working back in Wilmington, North Carolina at a grocery store named Lowe's Foods. And, I always wanted to live here in the Rocky Mountains. My mom found Erik's Ranch. It was like, this is what Tyler should be. So it happened, and I couldn't thank Erik's Ranch staff for allowing me to be here. I mean, it's an excellent opportunity. Be able to ride horses, work with amazing staff, amazing employees, get to talk to everybody while working. So it's a great ordeal for me. So I love it here. Couldn't be more happier.
When we got done taking the tour and talking with Catherine and Carrie and going through and seeing the apartment set up and how they had things there where they would have life coaches that can help, they were impressive, and the whole thing was impressive. And we got outside and they have a bench that's kind of in front of their parking lot there. And I just kind of sat down and started crying because I was like, hey, I could see his independence and his ability to be on his own, open up. And that I didn't have that thought prior to that. And it's done nothing but been great for him.
What that day did for us is it gave us as parents hope. And if you don't have hope, you don't have anything. And that day we had hope. And it's just continued.
They have a unique arrangement here where they just have the right combination of staff and programming where they empower without enabling. They figured out there's a fine line between those two. You've got to have the right flexibility and patience and all of that to not do for somebody, but instead, teach them how to fish instead of buy the fish, as the old saying goes. And they do that here. And Tyler, like so many of the members at Erik's Retreat, has just blossomed and grown. His own maturity has grown too. But, and he's flourished. It's been a wonderful experience.
I feel so spoiled. It's been amazing, and I definitely don't take it for granted. I'm so appreciative of the fact that, Dominic comes and knocks on the door, and he's like, 5 minutes till lunch, or 5 minutes till dinner. And all I have to do is show up and eat. It's amazing. I don't know what else to say.
I want to recommend it to every single person I know, but then I don't want to do it before I get to sign up for next year. Yes, 100,000% I would.
It's amazing how much one organization can affect so many people and can accomplish so much. And that's what we want to focus on next, some highlights and accomplishments.
I would love to talk about myself. I'm a top student at Alpha Strength and Condition. I'm a mastermind at finding loopholes. I make a mean cocktail. I'm a successfully employed at a job I found by myself. And I can do a George Carlin skit on demand. Just ask after the presentation for a generous donation, of course.
I was actually talking about our company's accomplishments.
You're right. Let's see if any of them can top me.
Tonight we reaffirm our mission to provide safe and unequaled living, working, social, and recreational environments for young adults with autism, giving these individuals a rewarding life on their own terms, experiencing dignity, compassion, and a joy of continuing possibility. And there is nothing more affirming than success. We are proof that people working together, brought together by mission, can do incredible things.
A decade ago, we welcomed our first member to Erik's Ranch and Retreats, but work really began 7 years earlier, codifying the mission and model, receiving donations of land and use of buildings, first in Montana at Erik's Ranch. And then in Minnesota with Erik's Retreat. We began speaking to families of those with autism and receiving inquiries, like this voice message from Frankie.
Frank Saccarelli. I'm 21 and I live in Melbourne, Florida. I was looking through online and I happened to glance at the ranch. I have part of an autism spectrum. I have Asperger's syndrome. I don't know if you accept people like that. If you could maybe give me a call, I would really like to talk to you. You know, I talked to my parents and told them that I'd like to live on my own, but I might need the support and help because, you know, medicine reminds me stuff, and I don't know if it's like long term or anything. I didn't get to watch the whole video. It was on YouTube, and I just think it was a miracle to see. And you know, I've never been in Montana, but I heard it's really beautiful, and maybe it would help me. So if you can give me a call anytime you can, I would gladly appreciate it. My name is Frank. I go by as Frankie too. Okay, goodbye.
We also began programming with member-led tours called Erik's Minnesota Adventures. And opened our therapeutic riding program in Minnesota, providing service to over 500 individuals over 4 years. And we garnered press for our efforts. We launched a website and by 2012 had 160 interested families on our wait list for membership. Support for our mission was clear. People came together to help us make our dream reality. By 2014, after operating our tour company, our therapeutic riding program, renovating part of the retreat, and building our first guest house in Montana, we welcomed our first 7 members. We continued to add members, renovate and build, and by 2017 we were fully open to the guests in both Minnesota and Montana. The mission worked. Our members grew and thrived in their roles with new friends. Sponsors and partners signed on, contributing their gifts to the cause, and new and sustaining donors made it possible to grow people, programs, and amenities.
Sure, there are a whole bunch of organizations for people with disabilities, but there's no Erik's Ranch. It's just so incredible being able to live here and stuff, and I feel so blessed to be living here.
The YouTube thing, I mean, I didn't really have the knowledge or anything like that, and I knew I wanted to do it, but I didn't think I'd ever get around to it.
I honestly never thought I'd be able to make a life and a family outside, away from my family in California. I'm learning, growing here, and I've been able to really become a better person. Most of what I do now is I credit to Carrie and Erik's.
Being able to drive again, and so being able to prove to my parents that I'm an adult and I can handle the responsibilities of driving and stuff like that. And so that was not something on the table before I moved out here.
The fact that I'm just able to live on my own is just, it's amazing to me. Before this, I thought I would never be able to do this, but Erik's has just given me the confidence I need to actually, you know, start pushing myself forward into more uncharted territory.
The main one thing I wanted to learn was how to ride horses. That was definitely in my vocabulary, one of my goals I wanted to learn here at Erik's Ranch. And, you know, every day I have off, I make sure I go to that barn with Brendan, and me and I will hit that barn, you know, as soon as he's ready to go, and we'll hit that barn and ride horses around the arena. And, you know, when I first got here, Colton was here with his wife Bree. You know, me and Colton would go out there to the pool area where the dummy used to be. We used to sit there and rope the dummy. And I mean, when I first started roping, I mean, it wasn't the best, but I mean, I kept working at it, and eventually I got the hang of it. So those are definitely two goals I wanted to learn: riding horses and learn how to rope. Be a true cowboy. Hence the hat.
I would say one of the biggest things that I can credit Erik's for is me and my buddy, me and Joe, my friend, we were like, hey, you know, let's go out and go over the Wolves game. We'll go watch, you know, we'll watch the Wolves game, we'll go hang out, we'll go see Mards play. And then afterwards, we went over, I can't remember what bar, we went to some bar. And in that moment, I was like, wow, I'm actually doing like normal young adult stuff. And I'm like, that's the first time that's ever happened. And I'm like, wow, I've never done that. It's like, I never would have, beforehand, I would have been so scared out of my mind. I'm like, no, I don't want to get out there and be social like that. Now I can. It's like, it was the first time that I felt really confident in myself. And it was like, wow, I can live on my own. Like, this is cool.
I don't get stuck on topics as often as I used to. I am much better at transitioning from one activity to another than I used to be.
I enjoy going on events with Erik Nordberg, which is really fun. And Catherine's done a lot for me too. I also have been enjoying working in Montana. Thankfully they gave me that job.
I have learned how to communicate and problem solve in a positive manner and to approach a situation with openness.
Being able to connect with the riders on a one-on-one platform, being able to correct them if needed.
A big thing that I can credit here is my friendship with my mentor Dominic Oakes. Thanks to Catherine, he was brought in my life, and now we talk like once a month still, and it's been like 3 or 4 years. And it was pretty cool just for her to start that relationship, but then me to really foster that.
so great to hear from the members about things that they couldn't do before and things that they're doing now. It's hard not to get choked up. But it has me thinking about jobs. Should we talk about some of your first jobs in Minnesota? But you're such a success story now.
Yeah, now.
Yeah. Remember that job you had next door that you didn't even have to walk outside because there was an underground tunnel, and you only worked 6 hours a week, and for 6 months I still had to walk you there every day just to make sure you showed up?
Don't remind me.
But now, how many years have you been employed full-time?
7.
Okay, round of applause. Right? Pretty amazing. And actually 94% of our members are employed compared to the national average, which is 14%. So.
Members at work. Let's take a look.
operational years, our members thrive doing the important work of running our operations, engaging with the guests, leading tours and experiences. Thanks to our hardworking members, staff, and volunteers, guests staying at the ranch and the retreat gave us rave reviews. Booking sites like Airbnb, Booking.com, TripAdvisor, and Expedia gave us Superhost status, guest review awards, and a certificate of excellence. Even more, Inc. magazine visited us and included us in an article about employing those with autism. Forbes named us the best off-the-grid place to stay near Yellowstone National Park, and Dwell magazine highlighted our 2 guest houses at Dry Creek. And then Netflix came knocking. So as all of these amazing things were happening, we also realized that in order to expand our community, we needed to add a new component. In 2019, we launched our Live On Site volunteer program in Minnesota, inviting individuals who are peers to our members to live at our Minnesota retreat, receiving reduced rent in exchange for becoming part of the program. Our volunteers have expanded our community with richness and add additional skills and talents to share with our members
planning and participating in recreational activities, providing individual support, and helping take care of our member and guest accommodations. Please welcome one of our volunteers, Ms. Margaret Bjorkstrand.
Thank you, Catherine, and good evening, everyone. As Catherine mentioned, I am one of the Live On Site volunteers here at Erik's Ranch, and for the past year and a half, I've spent every Thursday night with this wonderfully chaotic family. I honestly have many great memories from these nights, but one of the things that I think truly captures the spirit of this program is that members get to immerse themselves in both their passions and interests. For example, Dylan loves Mario Party, so we make sure to have at least one game night a month. Maggie, Sam, and Brian share a passion for animals, so we visit the fish store or go to the bird sanctuary where Brian volunteers. Tyler has a passion for DJing, and Jacob has a love for working with lights. So they teamed up to bring us all together for a party hosted by none other than DJ Crossworks. Then there's Erik G, who is a master in both ping pong and chess. We spend hours getting thoroughly beaten by him in both. Lucas is our go-with-the-flow guy, so he's always down for anything, even wrangling goats, which he has done before. And at least once a month, my partner in crime, Miles, takes over as grill master for our barbecue nights. Which, by the way, Tim and Dominic will always be there because free food is a pretty strong motivator. My time here as a volunteer has not only given me a place to call home, but has been a profound lesson in the power of supporting and nurturing others' passions and interests.
Another program important to our members is our mentorship program. We created this to provide our members with an opportunity to explore a passion, be it vocational or hobby, and collaborate with an expert or celebrity in that field. Each year, one of our members who has shown interest in pursuing a dream is selected as our highlighted member. We use our celebrity connections to find a match for the mentorship and plan the experiences. And then we showcase our member and their mentor at our annual event called An Evening Win. Through these extraordinary mentorships, our members springboard to new heights, experience new learnings, meet challenges, and grow in unexpected ways. We are delighted and grateful for the commitment received from our celebrity mentors to this program. And now, let me introduce you to one of our members, Jacob Thorson, who will tell you about his experience.
Hello everyone, my name is Jacob Thorson, and in 2019, I was the featured member, and I met my mentor and friend now, Dominic Oakes. My passion is rock climbing. We met in 2019 at Erik's Ranch in Montana. I went climbing at a local climbing gym where he taught me basic rope skills. Then, got the opportunity of a lifetime to climb the cliffs in Montana, in California, and on a real rock face, which was something I'd never done before. Dominic was someone different. Dominic helped push me out of my comfort zone without pushing me too hard. I was able to build trust quickly, which was necessary as we were dangling from cliffs. A personal challenge of mine was finding genuine friendships. Dominic became my very first true friendship. I'm grateful for this program that introduced us and have been lucky to continue our friendship for the past 5 years. Here's a look at our time together, as well as some of our other member partnerships over the last years.
Somehow you fall into these places and these really unique, amazing people come into your life, and it's
pretty cool the way that happens. You know, climbing for me originated as something that I really enjoyed doing because it opened up a whole new community of people to me. It opened up a whole new world to me, and I got to go see new places, and it was an excuse to go and explore and then be with like really great people. Jacob got onto a route that was really, really hard, and we were struggling, but he kept his composure and kept trying, took a couple breaks, kept trying, and there's this one part that we just couldn't get by, and all I needed was a little boost. So my friend Pete had him step on his shoulder, and that's all he needed, and he was able to make it from there all the way to the top. So it was super, super, super awesome, and really, I was actually pretty impressed with the perseverance, because we tried and tried and tried. We probably tried for an hour until we finally got up, but he did not give up once.
This is a lot of my first time I've really found a true mentor to help me through something that I want to learn that's challenging for me, but he's able to push me, not push me too far, but he knows the limits. To have someone from outside of my family to really say, yeah, you know, we can be friends, and that's been the biggest thing for me about this whole experience, and it's empowered me to really say, this is who I want you to be, you know. And I thank Catherine for giving this opportunity to me, for me to explore my passion for climbing and partnering with such a great guy.
First time I meet Mars, I'm like, oh my God, it's you. I'm like, yeah, because, you know, I honestly really was like, you know, I really admired him. So it's like someone that is like, someone I look up to is like, I'm working with you? I'm like, what?
So we set up a meeting, met Tyler, and immediately I was drawn to his passion, and because you have to have passion in this thing to get better. He's just a super personable, fun to be around, great energy. Like, people look for that in a DJ, not just, hey, can you know, make my dance party go, you know, at level 10. Like, that's important, obviously, but having a good personality is like very beneficial in what we look for in a team member.
My name's Holly Pipple, and I live over in the Gallatin Valley, and wildlife enthusiast, and take a lot of pictures. I like giving back, and when I heard Brian was kind of a photo nut like myself, and especially liked birds, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to come spend a day with him and just give back a little bit and share anything I can and learn from him as well. So it was really gratifying. I know we'll keep in touch, give each other some pointers, and share some experiences. And yeah, I would do it again. It was wonderful.
We saw 2 scarlet macaws up in a tree that I was able to get pictures of. It was a good feeling because we came all the way down here to get pictures of scarlet macaws. So to have that actually happen felt pretty good. We moved the boat up into the brush so I could get a better picture of the macaws.
I was impressed with what you got to see.
I'm pretty excited. I checked off most of everything I wanted to see there.
I liked some of your pictures. I got to see a handful of them. I thought they were really good.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the scarlet macaw one.
Yeah.
There was 2 of them.
Well, keep it up at home. You know, keep practicing at home. So when you come back to Montana next summer, we can hook up again and go out for some pictures.
That would be fun.
What's your favorite fishing memory?
I guess it would probably just be like the most recent fun fishing, which was out on the Olympic Peninsula. Caught a nice steelhead.
Nice.
Out there with my buddies in the rain that was coming down, and we caught a nice big fish and it fought a long time. It was pretty fun. But I'm looking forward to the next one to replace that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll do it tomorrow.
My favorite fly fishing memory was when I first went out with you. Ooh. It was raining that day, so it was kind of cold.
I remember you caught some nice big fish that day. I think bigger ones than your dad.
My dad was jealous.
Yeah,
I can tell you
I was too.
See these big scrapes. You see where the bear reached up and used his claws to mark. So what they usually do is that they just come in here and they just stand up and really rub. So that's what they do, and they're leaving their scent all over it. Sometimes they reach up with their claws like this, and the biggest bear leaves the highest mark. So they do this funny thing, especially the big males. When they drop down, I call it the cowboy walk, because they kind of walk bow-legged, and they twist their feet and they pull their feet and they go like this. And they leave, what they're trying to do is purposely leave these big indentions in the ground. There's scent glands in their paws, as they're twisting in the ground. They're often urinating, so there's leaving like scent everywhere. They know this tree's here. They probably smell it for miles away. And they come over here and they're like, all right, Frank and George are here. You know, I'm gonna leave my mark and let them know that I'm here now. And it's really cool. So for us in our film, and all our studies that we're doing here, is just finding this is like so perfect. So following them around, put the camera traps up, we know they're gonna come back to this, and we can see who's coming.
I want to hear that moment. Every skier has that instance where they just know, they just are ready, that they want to become a skier and they fall in love with the sport.
Just being outside, being with my dad. My dad and I just love to ski. Just feeling that freedom of being on the hill. What got you into skiing and then eventually got you into becoming the title of All-American Skier?
To be completely honest, the reason I started skiing is because my brother was having all this fun skiing, and I was looking at him and I said, oh man, I want to go skiing too. And it was literally that simple. I didn't get a start until I was much later. I didn't even put on a pair of skis until I was about 12 years old. And my brother took me skiing for the first time, and I instantly fell in love with it. We had a great day. I almost hit a tree. I got a black eye, and I just fell in love with the sport immediately. And it was love. It was love at first crash.
I created my first piece of music when I moved to the retreats, Erik's Ranch. So I guess that's when I first really discovered that passion of mine. I wanted to create music so I could change the world. I wanted to make a song that people would listen to, that would catch their attention. So I thought to myself, I want to start to play the piano. So I taught myself how to play the piano. And this one weekend when I stayed at my parents' house watching my dog, my sister has a piano. I just threw all the cards on the table and just said to try it out. So I came up with Orca because I wanted to just see how far I could truly go with the song.
It was beautiful, it was so from the heart, and you think of music very much the same way that I do.
actually have a really awesome job in that I just program. It's not just, that sounds reductive. But there's a lot of like hanging out with people and listening.
You're giving opportunities to people to enjoy what theater actually is and how it brings the magic.
Do you have any favorite bacon dishes?
Well, that cobbler that we made today is...
No, bacon.
Bacon?
Bacon.
Oh, not bacon.
No.
I do have a favorite bacon dish, and it's one of my appetizers that I serve on a lot of my catering menus. And it's very simple to do. One time I'd like to show it to you because, like me, once I saw it, I will continue to use it throughout my career, and I'd be happy to show it to you.
Explain it. But I'm out here, I feel excited. It's been more than what I expected.
Being a mentor and being in that position has been really rewarding, and in some ways just as helpful for me, I think, as it is for Maggie, because I get to assess what I've learned and figure out what's been important for me, and then my job is to do my best to take that and translate that to Maggie. I'm able to take what I've learned in the past and pass it on to her. It's going to be a success. Well, yesterday we were in Yellowstone National Park, and Maggie was really excited to get a photo of the bison, which she did. And I started to see her lose focus a little bit. She wasn't really shooting with intent. I was shooting in the other direction because there was a lot of beautiful clouds moving over the hills. And I was kind of thinking maybe that she was missing that, and she was a little too focused on just taking photos of the bison for the sake of taking photos. But then later that night, looking at her photos, I was really surprised to see that she had taken photos of the hillside with the shadows of the clouds, and it was really cool to see her not get too focused on just taking photos of the bison and actually like looking around and seeing what else is beautiful around here, and like how else can I apply my focus and see what else will make a good photo.
Erik is 29 years old. He has autism and is mostly nonverbal. He has some language, but it's limited. He is just a goofy, silly, fun person to be with. He loves to ride his horse, and he is a chocolate connoisseur.
Erik is a goofball. He's silly.
I would say goofy.
Erik is a very goofy guy.
He's very silly.
Some days he just giggles like nonstop too, and it's funny.
Erik's a huge, powerful person.
He definitely likes the outdoors, likes to be active. He seems to enjoy challenges.
Loves to have fun, loves to sing.
As long as there's a Disney movie on in the background, that guy was happy.
Just a very personable guy.
He's really caring and he's sweet.
He's sweet.
I just hope that he continues to have access to do the things that he wants to do, the stuff that, you know, makes him happy, even if it's a little scary at first. Just continue to be his goofy self, getting to be outside and just having a good time.
I hope that the little things in life continue to make him happy, and that he continues to bring so much joy to other people as he brings us.
It's just such a unique opportunity for him to be able to have the independence that he has, even though he needs so much guidance. But I mean, where else is this model? There isn't one.
What would Erik want to do for the rest of his life if he really had his own voice and he could really tell you? And what was obvious was he'd be riding on horses.
It's just been a great journey to see Erik accomplish all the tasks that we've set out for him, and it's been a fun journey along the way.
He really can do a lot more than people might think he can do. Just because he has autism and he's minimally verbal and he needs a lot of help, he can do a lot of things that do really impress me.
At the end of the day, I just hope that he sees like how important he is to other people and that he isn't just another person on the spectrum, you know, that he is valued and appreciated and loved.
Erik certainly has been one of the most important friendships and relationships in my life. His happy energy can like turn my day around if I'm having a tough day. So he really is, he's really one of my very good friends.
Well, next time when it's my turn, I'd like to get paired with the Prince of Dubai.
That's right. So we're going to close up this evening. Just going to do a little summary here. Today, 10 years since we first opened our doors, we've seen and experienced a lot. We've broken ground, tradition, and stereotypes. We own 3 properties outright and are still building and growing our programs, and through it all, finding ways to make our members shine, give them purpose, and expand their relationships just as we intended at the beginning of this dream. We've seen, done, experienced, and thrived through COVID years and historic flooding in Yellowstone near our Montana property and numerous other challenges. We've made headlines with our novel model and featured on Netflix, in Forbes, and Dwell. We've hosted 13,000 guests in Minnesota and in Montana. We've hosted 5,600 individuals on our tours led by our talented members, with tours in art, music, architecture, hiking, horseback riding, racing, fly fishing, bear and llama experiences. We've welcomed 32 total members to date, but we've had more than 1,000 applicants. Federal government regulations require operations like ours to remain small, and it's the right thing to do, but you can see how great a need there is for the replication of our model. Our model can be replicated in any destination location around the world. And we've shared our business plan with anyone who asks, and we've talked to people in Wyoming and Florida and California and Australia and so many other places. We're providing hope for families, purpose for members, and a proven model for inclusion and growth on the spectrum. Now, as we look to the future, we have a few things brewing. First, in January, we'll be launching our member service trips. We'll take a group of members to the Crystal River in Florida to provide conservation work in and around the manatee habitats. And yes, our members are going to get to interact firsthand with manatees. These trips are focused on teamwork, giving back, collaboration, and building relationships. And then additional learnings will come in the form of preparing presentations with outcomes and results, and sharing those through speaking engagements at Rotaries and chambers and other clubs around the metro area. And for those of you who know me, I do come up with a few creative ideas now. Let's take this out. So last winter I took my son Erik to Mexico to a little beach town called Sayulita. And it's lovely, and he got to surf and horseback ride and all the things that he loves to do. He also took a boat ride. And on the boat they had music and food and dancing and naturalists who shared all their information about the whale watching, which was spectacular. So it was a great trip. So months later, I wake up and I think, wow, oh, there it is. Now look at this with me. So our model in Montana works really well because it's an enclosed model, right? We're the employers and we are there to make our members successful as employees. And we want them to grow and learn and look at all the opportunities for work. So they're learning a whole lot of things, and we continue to add things to their repertoire. And now look at this. It's a floating ranch. It has all the same elements, right? So it's an enclosed environment. we'd be the employer, our employees would be the staff, and look at all these jobs, right? And I know when I started looking through our list, you know, just thinking through our list of members, I thought, I've got 3 hosts, we've got one sitting there, we've got at least 3 individuals, we've got a host, we've got 2 naturalists on our team, we've got 3 musicians, we've got chefs, and I think if I talked to some of our members, they would love to learn how to be a crew and work their way toward being a first mate. Floating ranch, right? Another place for our model to work a new venue, right? So with that, I'll say thank you so much. We're so grateful for you having been here with us tonight. And if you happen to know anyone with a big boat, send them to me. And with that, Tim and Carrie have a few instructions for you. And thank you again. So I just want to repeat what Catherine said. Thank you. Your support means so much. Thank you for being on this journey with us. Speaking of journeys, here are a few things you need to know before you head on your journey home. If you purchased photo cards or were the winner of any auction items, there are people at the checkout tables in the back. Next to the bar, there are 5 lines split alphabetically, so we'll get you checked out as quickly as possible. If you didn't make any purchases, you don't need to get in one of those lines, but if you have any questions, the checkout tables are still your best place to go. After obtaining any items and you're ready to go, please drop your name tags in the basket by the door. There are volunteers there to wish you a safe journey home.
I will also be up front with my own donation basket. You can pay me or Venmo me.
And lastly, I am sneaking this in, but I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to say thank you to Catherine. Without her vision and her unmatched work ethic, her ability to never give up, we wouldn't be here. But I'm not the only one who wanted to say so.
It's been a blessing for her to start this program. It's given people the freedom and independence to live alone, and had she not started this program, many of us would still be living at home without parents and not be able to have the opportunities and do the stuff and do the things that we're able to do now. And so it's been a huge meaningful thing for her to start this program and do what she's done.
I feel like seeing her with Erik was just really heartwarming to me, because it's like, that's just some, you know, the fact that she's so supportive and wants to see him succeed is such a big thing. And it was like, that just, yeah, I look at that and I'm like, I want to be like her.
Here, I am in a loving, nurturing environment that enables me to grow and become a better version of myself and just be the best version of me that I can be. And it's all thanks to Catherine's brilliant, kind of crazy ideas that we all love. Because she comes up with these ideas that half the time they're brilliant and half the time you're like, that's crazy, but it might just work.
When I've been out in Montana, she's always been so gracious to give us a meal, and I like her ribs.
I really appreciate the work she's put in to making the best place possible for people like me. Thank you for actually giving me this first step and giving myself the confidence that I can actually make it out here.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thanks, Catherine, for all that you've done.
Thank you, Catherine, for everything that you have done for us and starting this program. It means the world to us. Thank you for doing this, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine, for the opportunity to grow and to be more than what I seem. And thank you so much for giving me a place to stay, a place to live, and a place to thrive as well.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine, and thanks for the opportunity. We're working here at Erik's Ranch.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Erik's Retreat. Peace out. I'm out.